Yes.
I woke up at 5 a.m. hearing that wind hitting my windows. It was extreme for a while.
Yeah, well, and there was a lot of lightning too,
Yes.
and that's definitely what I kind of was waking up to as well. That was pretty early this morning, but we had a lot of storms, but a lot of that stayed well to the north. And so what you're looking at is from Fairmont. So we're looking at Garfield County, and in Fairmont, we easily had 90-mile-an-hour winds because this was a train derailment, and there was just a lot of damage there. They're still going to be doing cleanup. Valley and Mecaster were there early this morning. They were reporting on that for several hours. And then, of course, we had Jeremy Carter. And we started out yesterday with storms in Kansas. And Brandon Pennell, Marty Logan, they went all the way from Kansas to eventually Colorado and then brought these storms into Oklahoma. And this is, of course, what happened once they got here, at least in Garfield County. Now let's go to Links 2. I'm going to show you where that was. So, again, there's Fairmont. And this was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and our base wind velocity product on Action Live was picking up over 93-mile-an-hour wind gusts coming into Fairmont. So, yeah, that's why that train derailment happened. But a lot of our mesonet sites picking up just under that. We certainly had other severe wind gusts, especially up there in Kay County, a 68-mile-an-hour gust there. But lots of 50s, some 40s, even a 43-mile-an-hour gust at the Oklahoma City airport. But it was still dealing with some power outages. 400 customers right now in parts of Garfield County, and a couple hundred now here in Oklahoma City, but not from necessarily the wind damage. So last night and into early this morning, lots of rain when they were at their strongest coming into northwestern, north central Oklahoma. We ended up with almost, well, a little over 2.5 inches of rain in parts of the state. Nothing at the airport. We did have some sprinkles in Oklahoma City and Edmond. I can confirm that from very early this morning, but didn't amount to a whole lot. That's all now moving well off to the east. We saw some light rain in far eastern Oklahoma, and earlier I was watching some sprinkles moving into the metro, but that's even falling apart. So right now, it's actually pretty nice, especially just to our north in Guthrie. This is our Guthrie camera of our Lucky Star Skycam network. Partly to mostly sunny, 75 degrees with a northeast wind right now at 8 miles an hour. That sunshine is working its way down to the south. We're going to see some of that here later this afternoon. And then as we get into the weekend, it's going to be even better. Temperatures in the upper 70s, so we're starting to climb now that we're seeing that sun to the north, but we do have some upper 80s and low 90s showing up across the south. Big difference from where we were just this time yesterday. 15 degrees cooler here in Oklahoma City, but nearly 15 to almost 20 degrees cooler in parts of northeast Oklahoma. Again, we've got that north wind between about 10 to 20 miles an hour. That's pretty much how it's going to stay throughout the afternoon. So finally getting rid of these heat advisories and excessive heat warnings, but certainly not the case along the Gulf Coast. And those storms, again, continue to move off to the east, while in the meantime, high pressure, that heat dome, is way out to the west. But here's the thing, as we get later into the weekend, now we're looking at Sunday, it's going to slowly start to make its way back, but it's still going to be far enough that we could work in maybe a couple of showers and storms in far western Oklahoma, it looks like, but most of us will end up staying dry, and we could be staying dry for quite some time because that heat dome pretty much settles on top of the southern plains once we get into early next week. And so from then on out, it looks pretty hot, it looks windy. That one's going to be out of the southwest, and that's going to help to push temperatures well into the 90s. It's certainly a possibility that we could reach 100 degrees in Oklahoma City. We have not done that yet, but it's still fair game at this point. So today, looking at a high of about 83 degrees in Oklahoma City, but some 80s and 90s across the far south. Overnight tonight, it's going to be really nice. We're going to clear out our skies, and tomorrow morning, we're dropping down into the low 60s in Oklahoma City. 59, though, in Woodward. 63 in Ponca City, about 57 tomorrow morning in Miami. So a nice day to start it out on the patio, maybe having your coffee there. But in the afternoon, we're going to be warming up a little bit more. A light wind coming in out of the north. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the upper 80s, 89 at Ponca City, 89 in Enid, 90 degrees in Arbor, about 90 in Lawton, in the low 90s across Hobart and Altus as well. But by Sunday afternoon, now that wind's beginning to shift back to the south between about 5 to 10. So it's going to be pretty light, but it's going to be just enough to help to warm those temperatures back up into the 90s. And this is a lot more normal for this time of year. So 93 in Stillwater, about 94 degrees in McAllister, 95 in Altus, and 94 Sunday afternoon in Lawton. So this weekend, overall, pretty nice. But as we get into next week, not as nice. Temperatures in the upper 90s for highs for pretty much every day except Monday. We're going to try to get there, but those overnight lows also warming up.